Hello, hi, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Gina and just doing another comic haul for y'all. Um, I only got 4 things this week. Two of the things were pickups and two things were, two were pickups. One I had read a preview of and I was like, yeah. And the full issue finally came out. And then the other one I've never seen before in my entire life. And I was intrigued. Okay, so 4 things that I got. Interestingly enough, these two were the end of a series, which I knew this one was, but I didn't know Rogue was also the end of a series. And then these two are, of course, the beginning of a series. So let's go. I actually read all of them. Surprise, surprise, because I normally don't. And I end up having like a huge growing pile. But I actually read all of these this week. So let's discuss. I'm not going to do any spoilers, just going to do like whether I recommend it, like a little bit about it. So Rogue, collecting 5 issues. It kind of goes over, you do get a little bit of an understanding of what her powers actually are if you've never seen Rogue before. When I first picked this up, because Rogue is Southern, it is written in that way. So you're forced to read it in a Southern accent, which is either a good or a bad thing. It just depends on you. For me, at first, I hated it, but then I adjusted to it. So, and I'm Southern, so I already knew how to read it in that way. So that way, I was like, oh, they're purposely trying to make sure you can tell that she's from the South. So that was nice. Overall, this was a solid 4-star series, maybe 3.75. The ending was a little, I guess because I didn't know this was the end. I should have, because it's just a character series. And it's not like as big of one as just, I don't know. It's just like a side story, essentially. So do I recommend it? Sure, why not? It's not God tier for me, but solid series. It is solid, but just keep in mind that if you don't want to read something in a southern accent, then this won't be for you. Next, we got Sirens, Love Hurts. This is a 4-part series. This is also the only cover that I don't have that doesn't match the other 3 that I have, but that's besides the point. This ended pretty well. I would say this is also like a solid story. However, I think if you want something extremely action packed, you wouldn't want this. There's like a huge emphasis on the characters, like understanding a little bit more their personality versus like the action. It's like one overall um crime. They're trying to catch like a serial killer essentially, that's attacking all of these women. It's pretty good. Like, if you don't know about the Sirens, it consists of Catwoman, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, and Black Canary. So it's like you got villains and then you got a hero mixed in there. So that's also plays a little bit of a role in the overall series. So like it's pretty good. It's an interesting introduction to the Sirens. If you don't know about them, I wouldn't say it is the best introduction. So I wouldn't give this series to someone who's just new. Someone who's a fan of maybe these characters, they might be interested. A fan of like the art style, because this is not the art style. This is the art style. Um, then I recommend that too. But I think I would rate this 3.75, 4 stars for me as well. Like, it's a solid series, but this is one of those, like, either you like it or you don't. It's my opinion. So those are the 2 series that are officially completed. So if you want them. I do kind of recommend them, so you can see if they're going to have a reprint of these. I think they're already doing reprints of this one. I don't know if they're reprinting Rogue just yet, but I could be wrong because I've stayed up to date with these. And moving on to the new series. So we have Odin. This follows a journalist who is looking into a growing organization that's not necessarily promotes white supremacy, but has like a belief in white supremacy. And Odin, the gods, they play kind of a role in it, from what I can tell. She herself is not a supremacist, but she's investigating it. And this is particularly amongst, what generation did she say? Gen Z, I think. Um, and yeah, so that's the gist of what this is about. It is psychological, it is horror, it's bloody. So a little different from DC. um, DC definitely has a lot of action in it, and it can be bloody, especially with like Batman. But this is different. This is more like horror blood. So far, I'm not sure if I want to commit to the entire series, but I am interested enough to check out issue number 2 when that comes out next month in June. So I did go ahead and order issue number 2 so I won't miss it from my local comic book shop. Yeah, and the art style is kind of interesting. Ooh, that's probably not the best scene to open it up to. Here's just like some character profiles. This is right. Yeah, this is the character that we're following, who's also on the front. So very, very interesting, I will say, so far. But we'll see how I actually feel about it in the end. And then there's this one. This is called Megalith. Um, there was like 10 different covers. Okay, maybe 10 was a bit of exaggeration, but it was more than five. More than five covers. And it's kind of hard to see what all is going on in it, but I thought it was like super cool. And I did go ahead and put this on my pull list. This is supposed to be a 5-part series, apparently, according to the comic shop owner. So I was like, oh, okay. This is also partial horror, but more like sci-fi and fantasy elements. But we're following like a group of characters. I think mainly like 5 of them, something like that. And it's kind of like just a normal thing, but then this thing lands in the city, probably New York City because of like the subway system, but it might not be. But it lands in a city and like it annihilates like a huge area. Immediate threat. It grows in size constantly, like it's rebuilding itself. And then it turns out that it's not just some random object, it's actually a creature. Because why wouldn't it be, you know? But it doesn't give off robot. Well, yeah, it gives off like really confusing, like I don't know what this is kind of thing. And it's not really spoiling anything, saying what it is. You have to figure out, like, reading the summary of it, you know that's kind of what it's about. They're not fighting some random object that they can just nuke, essentially. But following a group of characters, and one of them is like a cop that works in the subway system, and he knows it very well, all of the rail tracks and stuff. So he's guiding the other task force officers and stuff and that's how they get inside the robot, I guess you could say. But that's as far as you get. So like, I don't know. Like it was a lot. The art style is kind of interesting. Um, like it's not super well defined, and I think that uh adds to it. Here's a good page. Like this thing, whatever that thing is, that's what lands in the city. So I'm not going to show the last page because that would show you exactly what the creature looks like. But let me say, it was impressive, the end page. So I do not regret automatically adding this to my pull list, even though I knew nothing about it. But I think the comic shop owner, because he gets an idea of my interest, was already like, yeah, she'll probably like it. So you want me to put this on the pull list for you? I was like, yeah, why not? So I can't recommend this just yet. Um, but both of these I did do about 4 stars on each. So that's something to keep in mind, that it's like they're not bad. Um, so something to investigate for sure. This one gets a little crazy, I will admit that. Like there's a lot of Tristan here and it's just one issue. So I'm like, okay. But I don't know. I recommend these series. I recommend kind of starting it maybe, or at least flipping through it. Though I still recommend like buying it if you're gonna flip through it in the shop. But for me, if I don't like the art style, this is why I flip through it. If I don't like the art style, I'm not gonna read it. Because that's half of it for comics and manga and stuff like that. Half of it is the art. So if you don't like the art, you'll be forcing yourself to read it. And at that point, I wouldn't recommend it for you. Like if you have to force yourself, it's not for you. So these are the 4 things that I got and the 4 things that I also read this week. I read more than just these, but I actually read these for once. I read everything that I bought in 1 week. So that's it for this video. Um, so with that, I hope you enjoyed listening in and hope you find something that you may want to pick up soon. And with that, until next time, bye.